Opinions expressed on this radio program do not necessarily reflect the views of this radio station.
Todd Levitt.
Todd Levitt.
Todd and Craig, good to hear you guys.
Todd Levitt.
This is Attorney Todd L. Levitt.
Honestly, you could not be any more spot on.
Now, from the Black Diamond Group mothership in the studios of 98.5 UPS, the Todd L. Levitt Law Show.
Welcome to the Todd Levitt Law Show. Good morning, good evening, and good night. I'm yours truly, Attorney Todd L. Levitt, turning it and burning it in the middle of the mitten in the Black Diamond Group mothership in a beautiful green nutrient field with my good friend and friends, Craig Russell, the muscle, the hustle. Don't call him Mando. Yes, he is a Swiftie. He is currently starring in a Michael Jackson musical off Broadway, and he's a lead singer in the song Beat It. We'll have to ask him about that, because that's all he's been saying all morning is beat it, beat it, beat it. Got to get the answer there from Craig. The water's wet, the sky is blue. Craig, I didn't know you sing in musicals. What say you, Craig?
There we go. There's my Michael Jackson. It's terrible. But
yeah, that was bad.
It was really bad. Hi, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing great. Last week's show, fantastic. Nick Klaus, attorney at law. He works here with Levitt Law Firm, myself, Todd Levitt, and Jenna, Ashley, and Samantha, and Mike Nichols. Great show last week. And in fact, they're still in the studio because we never left. We're pre-recording this.
Yes.
So without further ado, Nick and Mike, welcome back. Well, welcome back to the next show. How you guys doing?
What was that? What is?
Oh man, I thought he had Alexa wake him up last week, Craig.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Wake up, Nick. Mike Nichols, everybody.
And Nicholas Klaus, how you doing there, Mr. Klaus?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
But Mike, let's talk about that cell phone case. Nick, are you aware of that case at all? I'm not.
Wait, is this a new case?
Yeah, it's People versus Carson, Nick. I sent it to Todd earlier today.
Okay.
It's like a month old, and basically what it says is you can't just dump a cell phone based on a search warrant. The officer seeking the warrant has to have a specific area of the phone that he or she wants to search and articulate the area and why there is evidence of criminal activity on that area. It's actually a pretty well-reasoned, well-written case for nerds like you and I.
Yeah. Who was this? A Court of Appeals decision?
Yes, Michigan Court of Appeals, and I knew it was when I read it. Nope. When I read the case, I said, "Oh, this is going to be great," and my confidence was reaffirmed when I ran into a district judge who might be a little pro prosecution, who said, "I hate the Carson case."
Well, give the listeners a little background, Mike. What were the facts of the case?
It was weird. You would think it would be something crazy like a CSC or something like that, but it was breaking and entering, and a cop just said, "I want to search this guy's phone. Here's the phone number because there's going to be evidence of a crime there." And the defense attorney never objected to it, didn't file any kind of a motion to exclude the evidence, and they went to trial and got convicted. And one of the arguments, but anyway, the Court of Appeals said you can't just go to the circuit court judge or district court judge or whatever and say, "This guy's got a phone, I think he's a bad guy, so give me a search warrant to dump the guy's cell phone." Dump meaning, you go in and plug in cables and download everything that's on the phone.
Well, was the phone confiscated at the time of the arrest?
Yes.
So can an officer do that if the phone had nothing to do with the commission of the crime and actually take someone's? I mean, they can inventory it.
Well, I mean, and that's
what do they have to go through that phone?
Exactly. That's the thing is it's all in the eye of the beholder. If the cop says, "Give me your phone," the decision you have to make is, all right, do I call a lawyer at this moment, or do I just give the cop the phone, or what do I do? And
what does the cop think the phone had to do with the case?
Evidence of the stuff that was stolen. And I think that there might have been something in the affidavit for the search warrant about thinking that there were pre-crime exchanges via text about what they were going to do.
Okay.
I think that's, I just read it, Craig, so I'm trying to, assimilate the facts. But I think that's what that basically was. And the defense attorney did not do really. I mean, this goes back to our discussion about not enough attorneys to do a good job because you're ineffective by volume. The defense attorney didn't do anything to be the check and balance against law enforcement on any of that stuff.
Nick and Mike, what is the law? I mean, I'm a defense attorney. I'm just asking for the audience purpose. I know the answer, but what is the law on a federal level, let's say federal, in regards to a traffic stop where an officer has some kind of suspicion that a crime may have been committed, and so it goes beyond the traffic stop. Now it's an investigatory stop. Would that be Terry versus Ohio there, Mike? Am I thinking right?
No, I'm going to defer to Nick. Nick actually got into law school, so I'm going to defer to Nick.
There you go.
It's true. I did go to a law school.
So what's a Terry stop, Nick?
Terry stop is typically the roadside stop. You get pulled over by the police. They have reasonable suspicion of a crime. They start to develop probable cause, and they want to get into the car and start milling around.
Okay, so what about the cell phone now? We're talking about the cell phone. Can either one of you discuss? We're talking with attorney Nick Klaus of Levitt Law Firm. I'm so proud to have you as an attorney with me, and Mike Nichols, attorney extraordinaire at law. I mean, what's the law in regards to a cell phone? It's just there's nothing to do with any crime that had to do with a cell phone, and the officer wants to confiscate that cell phone. So can the person who's being pulled over in the driver's seat, I'm asking you a couple questions, film and record the officer? Is that allowed?
Yes.
And then can the officer who gets upset take that phone from that individual based on them filming that officer?
No, they can't just take the phone because they're filming. You have a legal right, and they have no expectation of privacy. So in that instance, they don't have a expectation of privacy because nobody would. So therefore, you can film the police at that time, and they can't just seize your phone. That's what it would be, is a seizure, if they rip the phone out of your hand or something. That said, it's good to have a lock on your phone for that reason. Because if the phone is wide open, then plain view can almost kick in that instance.
Plain view doctrine. Can you explain that, Mike?
So plain view means if you see something that you don't have to manipulate the environment in any way, you just look at something, like there's a bag of cocaine behind that speaker and I just had to move my head 30 degrees to see it. That's plain view.
The officer does not have to wake up a judge or magistrate and obtain a warrant. That's an exception to the warrant in getting in a vehicle because they see that a crime is being committed in plain view, and in order to preserve the evidence, it's in the public's best interest that they have a right to do that, and that's the case law, or that's the law, I should say. So where does the cell phone, in this case, Mike, that you're talking about, come into play? What the person, home invasion, robbery, the phone is confiscated. Did the officer just take it back to the station, plug it in, and download everything on that phone? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. And I had kind of a similar case in that it involved a cell phone 2 weeks ago by the time this airs, in Livingston County, and it was crazy, but that's a long story. I won't tell it unless you want me to tell it.
Bain is a judge in Livingston County.
Yes, that's right. I did talk to you about that. Yeah.
My best friends. But my question is, when we come back from break, is this: so can an officer confiscate a phone? I mean, we support law enforcement, but we are defense attorneys. We're going to advocate and do our job, all three of us. But my question when we come back from break is, in what circumstance can an officer confiscate someone's phone, either out in public or private, or in a motor vehicle when they pull somebody over? So we'll get an answer from Nick and Mike right after this break. This is attorney Todd L. Levitt here to tell you about my favorite one and only, the only one I go to, M66 Cannabis Company, recreational dispensary right here in the great state of Michigan, central northern Michigan, located at 3023 20 Mile Road, Beaverton, Michigan, between Big Rapids and Mount Pleasant, Michigan. M66 Cannabis Company is frickin' fantastic, folks, from pipes to edibles to flower, 24 different strains. The staff, all locally hired, general manager, knowledgeable, community-oriented, family-owned. Be sure to check out M66 Cannabis Company, Beaverton, Michigan.
Hey, this is Mike Messina, general manager at M66 Cannabis Company out of Barrington, Michigan, off of M66. And I want to personally invite you down to M66 Cannabis Company to come peruse our wide selection of different products, 18 different strains of flower, 29 different types of cartridges, and so much more. We've got everything that you could possibly need and a very well-trained and compassionate staff there to help you find exactly what you're looking for.
That's M66 Cannabis Company, located at 3023 20 Mile Road. That's 3023 20 Mile Road. My favorite recreational dispensary here in Michigan. Be sure to stop in and tell the folks when you get there you heard it right here on the Todd L. Levitt Law Show. Welcome back to the Todd Levitt Law Show. Joined in the mothership with my good friend Greg Russell, the muscle, the hustle. Lori is the president of his fan club. Big shout out to my sister Lori, Craig.
Yes. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori. And attorney Mike Nichols of Nichols Law, East Lansing, Michigan, all over the state. And attorney Nicholas H. Klaus of Levitt Law for Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Todd L. Levitt also in studio. So can one or both of you answer that question? Mike, since you brought up the case, I'll defer to you. When does an officer have a right to confiscate the phone? And based on what you're telling us in the past segment, even upon doing so, do they have to get the warrant first to obtain the phone, or can they obtain the phone and then get the warrant based on very specific information and what part of the phone they want to search?
No, this is just right into law school 101. You've either got to have a search warrant to seize it, or you have to have one of the 10 exceptions to the warrant requirement, starting with consent. And that's where it gets difficult for people, because you don't have to give up your cell phone unless the cop has a warrant. But then you got to decide what's on that cell phone. Am I going to get hung up for what's on that cell phone? That's where you start to get into some nuanced and difficult decision making.
So there's my...
Maybe Nick disagrees. I want to hear from Nick.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Nick.
No, I agree. I think that, it does get difficult for the average person untrained in the law when it's time to respond to the cop's demands. Cop says, give me your cell phone or put your cell phone away, and you didn't go to law school. Is it coercion? The courts say no, it's not. I think differently, but yeah, it's very nuanced. It has a lot to do with the circumstances, but by and large, yeah, if they don't have a warrant and they don't have an articulable, I'm not pronouncing that word right.
Yes, you are. Articulable. Yep.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Suspicion that a crime is afoot, they can't get into the phone. They can't get into your pockets. They can't get into, unless officer safety is at issue. And, what does that even mean? Kind of depends on the judge. But, yeah, that's how I would say it works.
Not only is it the Todd L. Levitt Law Show, it's the Todd L. Levitt Grammar Show. Or spelling, either way.
There you go.
So my question with this case, Mike, is how does the cell phone come into play? Did the police see a text from somebody saying, hey, did you get that stuff in that robbery you're going to commit? You know what I mean? How do you know that the phone is part of the case? Because it doesn't seem like that would necessarily be obvious.
Yeah, that part was not especially clear. Sometimes Court of Appeals opinions are not, or Supreme Court opinions are not terribly clear on the facts and context and all that. And usually that's because the record is not terribly specific. So that part I cannot answer for you, but great question. Love where your head's at.
Well, yeah, because you would think if the phone is turned off and somebody just happens to be carrying the phone, how would that officer know, or the prosecutor know, that there's some incriminating evidence on the phone?
Well, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. So where are they getting off getting the phone to check it?
They may not.
And sometimes here's how stuff goes down, and I have no problem with this. Cops find out information from sources that are completely inadmissible, but they're trying to figure out how to solve a criminal situation.
Sure.
And make an arrest. And, I think most people get into law enforcement. Most people get into any job because they want to make a difference and they think they can do a good job. And sometimes you get overzealous, and I think that's what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, we both, all three of us, have a lot of friends in law enforcement. I have nothing but love and respect for officers and their job and what they do. I've had a lot of friends retire from law enforcement. But big shout out to Mike Main, Sheriff Main, Isabella County. He does such a great job. I was actually doing a little bit of workout with my buddy Dave Sabuda. He retired, not from law enforcement, but from one of his jobs. He's still in law enforcement, but big shout out to Dave. I mean, they put their lives on the line. But again, as a defense attorney, it's like that cartoon. We're going to go to work. We're going to advocate. We're going to do our job. We may be friends, but business is business. I mean, and most officers understand that.
Sure.
When we see them in court and we're friends, they know we have to do our job. They have to do their job. So, Nick, I have a question for you.
Yo.
And Mike may have to answer this. Not that you wouldn't know the answer, but just slam Nick there.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Yeah.
No, we're honored that you're at Levitt Law Firm, truly. But I know the state of Michigan switched from the Data Master over to the Intoxilock device, Mike. Are you familiar with that? I just learned about this.
Yeah, so I always called it a Data Master, and then I noticed in the reports that we were getting that it wasn't called that anymore. And I assumed that had something to do with the big controversy a couple of years ago that, all the evidence had to get thrown out in like 1 million cases or something like that. But I'm going to defer to Mike Nichols on this one.
Yeah, so you heard it here first. It's the Intoxilizer 9000, made by a company called CMI, which is based in Texas. And Mark Fondren, Mark Fondren, who is the current technical leader for the breath alcohol unit for the Michigan State Police, I think he just came in and he said, I hate the Data Master. I like CMI. I think he's got friends at CMI. I'm not going to go beyond that and suggest anything untoward. I won't suggest it, but maybe somebody could do some FOIA and find it.
Well, explain what the Data Master was and when was it utilized?
It's really nothing more than they're both kind of the same thing, just different versions of the technology. It's based
Someone's
on
placed under arrest for potentially drinking or drugging and driving, but mostly alcohol. And after your chemical test rights, let's say you submit to it at the sheriff's department or somewhere else, you're going to blow into the Data Master. That was the old device, and it would print out a blood alcohol content, correct?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be a nerd again.
Was.
I'm gonna be a nerd again, like I am on your show sometimes. But I guarantee, Todd and Craig, that some of the listeners will understand this. Breath alcohol testing is based on infrared spectrophotometry, which is
sexy, by the way.
It's the absorption of infrared light.
Of course, everybody knows that, right?
Everybody knows that.
Everybody. Yes. The Jeopardy question. Come on.
Santa Claus, Klaus, actually got into law school, so he knows that. They teach that at Wayne State.
Of course.
And it has to convert what it sees in a breath sample using chemistry, Henry's law, computer programming, to convert what's in a breath sample and the reactions, the chemical reactions between the breath sample and detector in the instrument to say, okay, enough infrared light has passed through the filters that we can say this is ethanol. It's looking for the molecule, right? The molecular structure. And then how much light actually does get absorbed is how they try to quantify the amount of alcohol in the sample. And so many things can go wrong in a breath alcohol test. It's really ridiculous. And the fact that people have been convicted on nothing more than a breath alcohol analysis from a gizmo like an Intoxilizer 9000 is kind of pathetic, but you know, that's it goes back to the conversation that we had about there aren't enough lawyers, and then go another level deeper. There aren't enough lawyers who go into continuing education in their particular practice area to really learn that area to become an expert in the area so that they can cross-examine an expert like an expert.
So my God, jump in because we have to go to break. Craig is waving his wand at me here. But
he's just bored. Craig's just bored. Yeah. Craig wants to stop the boring.
Nick and I at Levitt Law Firm, we have a case right now, and we're not going to mention any names out of confidentiality. And it doesn't involve the Texilizer and Toxilizer 22 gazillion. I know it's not that's not the
9,000, bro.
There were two samples taken. Both indicate incomplete on both of the documents. So we want to talk to you about that when we come back from break. This is attorney Todd L. Levitt here to tell you about my favorite one and only, the only one I go to, M66 Cannabis Company, recreational dispensary right here in the great state of Michigan, central northern Michigan, located at 3023 20 Mile Road, Beaverton, Michigan, between Big Rapids and Mount Pleasant, Michigan. M66 Cannabis Company is frickin' fantastic, folks, from pipes to edibles to flower, 24 different strains. The staff, all locally hired, general manager, knowledgeable, community-oriented, family-owned. Be sure to check out M66 Cannabis Company, Beaverton, Michigan.
Hey, this is Mike Messina, general manager at M66 Cannabis Company out of Barrington, Michigan, off of M66. And I want to personally invite you down to M66 Cannabis Company to come peruse our wide selection of different products, 18 different strains of flower, 29 different types of cartridges, and so much more. We've got everything that you could possibly need and a very well-trained and compassionate staff there to help you find exactly what you're looking for.
That's M66 Cannabis Company, located at 3023 20 Mile Road. That's 3023 20 Mile Road. My favorite recreational dispensary here in Michigan. Be sure to stop in and tell the folks when you get there you heard it right here on the Todd L. Levitt Law Show.
Tonight
Welcome back to the Todd L. Levitt Law Show with all kinds of special guests. Nick Klaus from the Levitt Law Firm, Mike Nichols from Nichols Law, and Todd Levitt from the Levitt Law Firm.
Yeah,
Gentlemen.
420, baby.
Yeah. That was last weekend, but that's okay.
That's okay. 420 is also Wendy Schiller Nichols' birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday, Wendy.
Well, happy belated birthday to Wendy.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Intoxilizer 9 bajillion or whatever, and the differences between the old unit and the new unit. What are they, Mike? Where are we at here?
No, I mean, I don't think there are a whole lot of differences, except that with the Intoxilizer 9000, it's pretty esoteric, and I don't want to go crazy and make Todd pull all of his hair out, but with the Intoxilizer 9000, it will continue to measure and report the breath alcohol concentration even after the parameters have been satisfied for an acceptable sample. And it's harder to explain, but it's basically the longer you blow, the higher your BAC will go. So it will be artificially inflated if you give like a 10-second sample versus a, let's say, 6-second sample. Does that make sense at all?
It does.
I mean, to us it does, right, Nick?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
So what about the case where you have a sample that's provided, the person, let's say their blood alcohol content 0.101, and then they blow a few minutes later and it's defective. So the officer retools the instrument, they blow again, and they blow, let's say, 0.095, really low, above the 0.08 limit. And both of those documents say incomplete test. So what would you do as an attorney with that?
Well, to me, I think jurors really want to know how the person looks and sounds on video.
Absolutely.
Do they look and sound like they're tipsy or not? And that's really what the jury instructions are, too. The judge literally tells the jury in a drunk driving trial, the results of a chemical test are just one piece of evidence that you should consider along with all of the other evidence about the person's bodily alcohol content. So, I mean, that's what I would really look at before I advise the client. Do we go to trial and roll the dice, and what are your needs, and where do we go?
And now, here's the deal, folks. It doesn't matter where you go to law school because everybody's in competition. Oh, I need to go here. I need to go there. I need to go there. Every student who completes undergraduate degree, 4-year degree, I went to Central Michigan Mac School. Mike, you went to MSU, is that right?
I went to MSU, yeah.
And I think Nick did you go to Wayne State for undergrad in Detroit?
I did.
So you had to complete a 4-year education, take the test, get into law school. All of us have to take the exact same test, the bar exam, to become licensed attorneys. And some of the best judges I know went to some of the law schools that are not necessarily the University of Michigans or the Wayne States or the MSUs. I went to Detroit College of Law. So, to round it up, I don't want anyone out there to be discouraged if they have a daughter or somebody or son or someone in their family or friend who wants to go to law school, but they don't think they're smart enough to get in. Look, just get into a law school. And you can look. There's millions of people who have done it before us. There are millions who will do it after us. So,
and the beautiful thing about law school is,
the
law is the same no matter what school you go to. True. Yep. The law does not change. It's not one set of laws if you go to Cooley Law School.
I disagree.
Really? It's a different.
Because if you go, my daughter went to law school. My daughter is an attorney in 2 states, and she attended law school in Illinois. So she was learning state of Illinois law together with federal law. And then when she came to Michigan, took the Michigan bar, there's Michigan laws, there's Michigan statutes, and there's federal law. So, hey, Nick, what law controls, state or federal?
Well, it depends on which land we're in terms of what courts we're in. You walk into a civil state court and you're suing somebody or you're getting charged with a crime, then you're dealing with state law. If you're dealing with constitutional issues, those are going to supersede, of course. That is the U.S. constitutional issues. That's the law of the land, and that's the law is supposed to be the great equalizer, right? I mean, it's supposed to make things a fair fight. Back to your point about the law is the law. I think that's what the essence of that is. So, if you're a lawyer, you can't walk. If I'm a lawyer in Michigan, I can't walk into Illinois and just start practicing because I don't know their state law, and that's a good thing. I'd be ineffective. If I sat for the bar, then supposedly you're effective.
Well, all I was saying was, the Constitution is the same. The Bill of Rights are the same. Those kind of laws are the same no matter where you go.
That's right.
The amendments are the same. I understand what you're saying about the state law, but the actual overall, the Constitution, it doesn't change from state to state to state. It's all the same.
Yeah, but if Mike, Nick, or I represent someone for operating while intoxicated, they're charged under either a local ordinance, which parallels the state law statute, or operating while intoxicated under the 257.625, or some of the other codes, right, Mike?
Boom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
And this makes up the perfect point of what you guys were talking about from the show last week about the need for good lawyers in jurisdictions to know what the law of the land in Missaukee County or Wexford County is going to be slightly different from what it is in Oakland County. And you need good people who are fighting the good fight law-wise in those counties to know what's going on.
Here's a question as an attorney for good point, Craig. Here's a question for the two attorneys here, I being a third. So, Mike, you practice all over the state. Nick, you as well, Nick, but now you practice here out of Mount Pleasant, but you're still practicing all the way to the north and to the west in other courts.
That's right.
And when I worked in Metro Detroit for 12 years, I represent a lot of men and women who obtained civil infractions for speeding and this and that and the other thing. When I moved north back in the mid 2000s, I came to realize that the prosecutors and law enforcement are not so fast to give you an impeding traffic so it doesn't go on your driving record. What have you two found? Have you guys represented anybody recently for civil infractions that weren't attached to misdemeanors? Because if you get a drunk driving, the prosecutor will kick the civil infraction. But I'm talking if somebody calls your office and they say, hey, I got a 20 over, are you going to take that case?
Yeah, I've had those cases. Yeah,
absolutely.
I've had those cases.
So you're saying the prosecutors and city attorneys in the jurisdiction in which you practice are willing to negotiate those down to something so it's not abstract?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
that's good to know.
If they can get to know their client and so forth, then that's where a lawyer can really do a lot of work.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Especially if they have a CDL. They operate a big truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's real important.
Oh, yeah. So, Craig, you had a question for the lawyers? This is like Ask the Lawyers here.
No, actually, we need to take a break.
What? Come on, Craig.
Come on, Craig.
Come on,
Craig. Mike, don't forget, you got to go pick someone up. Alexa told you, 9:20?
I've got 43 minutes.
Oh, we'll get you.
You don't need Alexa. You got your best friend, attorney Todd L. Levitt here reminding you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, appreciate you.
There you go. Hey, we'll be right back right here on the Todd L. Levitt Law Show with two of my good friends and three of my good friends, actually. This is attorney Todd L. Levitt here to tell you about my favorite one and only, the only one I go to, M66 Cannabis Company, recreational dispensary right here in the great state of Michigan, central northern Michigan, located at 3023 20 Mile Road, Beaverton, Michigan, between Big Rapids and Mount Pleasant, Michigan. M66 Cannabis Company is frickin' fantastic, folks, from pipes to edibles to flower, 24 different strains. The staff, all locally hired, general manager, knowledgeable, community-oriented, family-owned. Be sure to check out M66 Cannabis Company, Beaverton, Michigan.
Hey, this is Mike Messina, general manager at M66 Cannabis Company out of Barrington, Michigan, off of M66. And I want to personally invite you down to M66 Cannabis Company to come peruse our wide selection of different products, 18 different strains of flower, 29 different types of cartridges, and so much more. We've got everything that you could possibly need and a very well-trained and compassionate staff there to help you find exactly what you're looking for.
That's M66 Cannabis Company, located at 3023 20 Mile Road. That's 3023 20 Mile Road. My favorite recreational dispensary here in Michigan. Be sure to stop in and tell the folks when you get there you heard it right here on the Todd L. Levitt Law Show. Welcome back to the Todd Levitt Law Show, part 2 of a 2-part series featuring Craig Russell, the muscle, the hustle, Little John's best friend. Hey! A big shout out to Biker Bob. Much love to you, brother. Love and respect to Biker Bob and everybody out there listening to the show. Attorney Mike Nichols of Nichols Law, East Lansing. Mike, give out your phone number. Anybody wants to call for representation?
It's 517-432-9000. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, Mike. Say hi to Wendy, who in her own right is one of the best lawyers I know. And I'm so honored to call you a very close friend, you and your entire family. Your kids are amazing. Mike is the best of the best, folks. Mike Nichols. And also we have Nicholas H. Klaus, who just appeared on 2 shows back-to-back that works at Levitt Law Firm. Nick, you as well.
Thank you.
So honored
Great
to have
be
you.
here.
You know, interestingly enough, this is another conversation, but Mike used to be a broadcaster on TV, and you used to be a playwright. So a lot of talent here in the mothership.
Yes, indeed. Thanks a lot for having me.
It's so a pleasure to have you at Levitt Law Firm. You are, in your own right, an outstanding criminal defense trial attorney. Stoked to have you. So, guys, I'll catch up with you later. Craig, what a show. Great show, back-to-back weeks.
Big show. Lots of love from Mike and also Nick. And the show is over. We got to go.
Yeah, the show is over. We do have to go. You know, we didn't talk about this, but we've been playing Phil Collins. Is that Genesis? Tonight.
Yes, that is Genesis. That's correct.
Oh, I promised I would never sing again. And what did I do?
You
I
sang
sang
again.
on the show.
Yeah, you did.
Craig, I'm not just a litigator. I'm an advocator. Take us out with a little tonight.
The Todd L. Levitt Law Show, brought to you by Clark Modular Homes of Mount Pleasant, Rusty Gold Antiques in Everett, Chad Malley Well Drilling of Rosebush, Clear Vision Windows, Siding and Roofing of Midland, and attorney Todd L. Levitt.
Opinions expressed on this radio program do not necessarily reflect the views of this radio station.